Module 3, Cognitive Processes and Development. This module is going to take us into comparing Piaget and Vygotsky's different theories. Also, attention, development, and memory will come in this module, along with the nature of intelligence, and we'll wrap this module up with language. So let's get this module started. This module, we're going to use your textbook, chapter 6, 7, 8, and 9. In this video, we're going to focus on the cognitive development approaches of Jean Piaget and Lev Vygotsky. Here, Piaget gives us the theory of cognitive development with 4 stages. Piaget stresses that children actively construct their own cognitive words. They build mental structures that help them adapt. And Piaget sought to discover how children at different points in development think and how systematic changes in children's thinking actually occur. I chose this picture to emphasize the way children reason at each stage is different from the way they reason at another stage. And he points that out in a couple of different pictures and examples in your book. Let's take an individual look at each stage, starting with the sensory motor stage. The sensory motor stage lasts from birth to about 2 years of life. And in this stage, infants are going to construct an understanding of the world by coordinating their sensory experiences. Piaget divided the sensory motor stages into 6 substages: the simple reflexes, first habits and primary circular reactions, secondary circular reactions, coordination of secondary circular reactions, tertiary circular reactions, novelty and curiosity, and the internalization of schemes. Piaget argues that one builds upon another. In this example, a 5-month-old boy sees the monkey, but then when it's out of sight, it's literally out of mind. The infant looks at the toy on the left, and then when his view of the toy is blocked, the photo on the right, he does not search for it. Now, several months later, he will begin to search for the hidden toy monkey, an action reflecting the presence of object permanence. The pre-operational stage, this is going to last between 2 to 7 years of age, and it's the second stage. In this stage, children begin to represent the world with words, images, and drawings. They form stable concepts and begin to reason. At the same time, the young child's cognitive world is dominated by egocentrism and magical beliefs. So we've all probably done this experiment on someone, especially maybe a child. Some more examples. This chart here talks about the different types of conservation, like the number. Look at the dots in the rows. Matter and length. These are some pretty cool examples. The concrete operational stage lasts approximately from 7 years old to 11 years old. And in this stage, children can perform concrete operations. If you'll look at this example here, the classification, how they can take the family tree of 4 generations. Your pre-observational child is going to have trouble remembering these, but your concrete operational stage child is going to be able to recall them vertically, horizontally, obliquely. And for example, the child can understand that a family member can be a son, a brother, and a father all at the same time. Good example here with the family tree. Here we move into the formal operational stage, and this is where they're going to become adolescent. And this is the 4th and final stage. In this stage, the individuals are going to move beyond concrete experiences and think in abstract and logical ways. They might think about what an ideal parent is like and compare their parents to their ideal standards. Looking at this example in the book, could you think of another cause that might be attractive to adolescents' newfound cognitive abilities of hyper-theoretical, deductive reasoning and idealistic thinking? Where could you see adolescents right now doing this same type of thing? And here on the right side, it does remind me of my girls actually spending long hours in the mirror. How might this behavior be related to changes in the adolescent's cognitive and physical development? That leads us right into our first connect and reflect. This is a great connect and reflect, and I think one that you can relate to right now. Take a few minutes and jot down some responses. You'll see this again in your module discussion. Although Piaget wasn't an educator, he did provide some sound conceptual frameworks for viewing student learning and education. The constructive approach, all subjects students learn by making discoveries and reflecting on them, discussing them, rather than blindly imitating the teacher or doing things by rote. Students learn by doing. Consider the child's knowledge and level of thinking. This is where a teacher could interpret and respond more on a student level. And then promoting the student's intellectual health. This would be where Piaget emphasizes children's learning should occur naturally. They shouldn't be pushed and pressured into achieving something. And I love this. I'm turning the classroom into a setting of exploration and discovery. And that might be, for example, a math lesson constructed around counting today's lunch money or dividing up supplies. In Vygotsky's theory, children are more often described as social creatures. They develop their ways of thinking and understanding primarily through social interactions. Their cognitive development depends on the tools that they are provided by society, and their minds are shaped by the cultural context in which they live. ZPD, Zone of Proximal Development, there are a couple good examples there in your book going from the lower limit up to the upper limit, where you've got children that are doing things independently and then getting help. Spend some time on this chart comparing the different theoretical focuses between Vygotsky and Piaget. This will come back in your discussion, so have this available. There are no cognitive stages per se that have been proposed for middle and late adulthood, although concepts of fluid mechanics and crystallized pragmatics take on stage-like characteristics. So theory and research today in adult cognitive development focuses mainly on specific aspects of information processing rather than cognitive strategies. One more connect and reflect that I wanted to point out. How did that experience resonate with you? What was your experience like in your own child development? That's a wrap for the first video in Module 3.